Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I'm Wibbert and this is one of my builds. Today I'm gonna start a seaport, and as you can see I don't have any water. How did I do that? I used the diagonal bridge enabler. It removes the water from the game. It also allows you to build diagonal bridges, but I didn't really see a need for diagonal bridges just yet, so I decided not really to go into that right now. I might do that in the future, but here I was experimenting with some rail depot. I decided to stop that idea because the space was too tight, so I ended up flipping the idea and yeah, doing it like that. So what am I gonna be building? I'm not really gonna be building a functional seaport just yet. In between videos, in between now and the next time I'm gonna start recording, I did change some settings for the terrain because some of the diagonals were annoying me a bit, and I ended up changing the parameters so they turned into cliffs faster, which would help with some of the decorative wall stuff that you can do. Here I did know I wanted to do one of those stacker kind of thingies that you might have seen me build in Sweet Transit, but yeah, I couldn't make the turnaround yet, so I needed to redo that bit. Yeah, so I'm not really gonna be building a functional port. I did in between, well, today, I recorded this on Friday and it's Sunday now, so I did in between then and now install functional seaports. It's a pretty big process of installing them because there's like, I think I downloaded like 60 dependencies. Luckily there was the SimCity 4 Devotion dependency tracker, so that made it a bit easier. I was missing one dependency because I downloaded it in the previous region that I started this channel off with, and yeah, so the dependency tracker actually keeps tracks of the mods that you have downloaded already, so it thought I still had it installed, but I started a new plugin for this region, so I had to figure out what I was missing, and there was a nice guide on the internet for that, so I ended up fixing that too. So I think next video there's a couple of things I want to do. I want to fix the canals and start a residential neighborhood at the rail station, at the big rail station, and I also want to plop down some of these functional seaports and just get that going, so I have a bit more of an idea of the structure of this area. So I think I'll just do both. The seaports shouldn't take too long, and yeah, the residential development, I did try some things out, and yeah, I don't know, I've been preparing these videos a bit more than I'm usually doing, but I think I'm just gonna end up doing a random build off of the back of my head. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna be doing some random builds, but I probably will be inspired by the ideas that I developed while testing. So here I decided to line these up with the streets, because I think that makes for a pretty nice transition there. I'm using the street add-on mod and then the industrial version. You could also use the Japanese version, I think. It also has a pretty industrial look in my opinion, but I don't know, I like the textures that this one gives. Instead of the normal pavement, it gives like the I think it's like the manufacturing industry concrete kind of stuff. And here I am replopping these because they also had some side entrances, so I wanted to connect those as well. And there's a nice little crane over there. The Seaport that I installed also has a bunch of So it's like a BSC functional seaports, and there's like 10 different seaports or something like that. There's a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna be experimenting with that a bit. Right here, I wanted to make this slope smooth, but I'm still in like a diagonal bridge enabler mode. So what the diagonal bridge enabler does, it stops you from building roads and stuff on slopes. So that's why that wasn't working there. I think whenever you do a diagonal bridge, it also needs to be absolutely flat on the bottom. Not sure about that. Here I was thinking, wait, maybe I want a ground level rail to connect into this industrial area to support more of the traffic. And I decided to use the sunken rail thing that I showed off 2 videos ago, I think, and to use that as a transition into subway, because yeah, this area, I've been looking at that area off cam, I guess is what you'd call it, to see if I was gonna be able to do some fancy elevated rail stuff maybe, and I couldn't figure it out, so I decided to just use the subway. It's a bit of a cop-out in my opinion, but it's also part of the ground level rail system, I suppose. I guess yeah, part of it is that it's a metro. So here I'm looking up the metro pipes, or the subway pipes, whatever you want to call them. And I thought that slope over there looked a bit too steep. I wanted to like simulate the pipe going underneath it smoothly, or more smoothly. It's still pretty steep, but whatever. So I decided to make it a bit smoother. And now when you will see me drag the pipe, yeah, so it's a bit smoother over there. Doesn't really matter for game purposes, but I thought it would be more realistic that way. And yeah, so I'm gonna be using some sunken rail on over here as well. And I want there to be a subway station connecting to this general area. So I decided to raise some of this terrain, and I wanted to smoothen out that slope as well, and I figured, yeah, let's just swap out of the diagonal bridge enabler stuff. So now you can see my water is back, and the one thing I forgot to do was to remove all the streets from underneath the water, because I used the streets to level out the terrain. And yeah, I cut out where I cut out the big part where I removed those. But yeah, I removed those eventually, not because they were like derping out my city or something, but because they, whenever I was placing the embankments wanted to face towards them, and I didn't like that. I don't know why I'm scrolling through menus. I thought I cut this out, but I did not. I apologize. So I'm looking for a station. Oh yeah, I was first placing the ground level sunken rail stuff. And there's still some subway pipes underneath that. And I'm not sure how they would have worked with the subway pipes underneath them, if they would have still shown trains moving through them. So I decided to remove that, and yeah, I'm just trying to place them in a way that I get as much distance of ground level rail stuff going into through those as I can, so that I get the nice animations over there. You won't see those in this video because well, there's not really gonna be another station to the right of this bit yet, so there's not really going to be any traffic, so there won't be any animations yet. But I'll figure that out in the... yeah, maybe I'll do that next episode as well. It's hard to prioritize what you want in an episode. I'm not sure if that's actually gonna work. It will be fine. And here I smooth out that slope. That's pretty nice. And my phone made a bleep. I'm just not gonna touch my phone. I hope it won't be too many bleeps. We'll see. And here I'm using these bike paths that I modded. And I wanted the cypresses, so because I don't know, I thought it would look cool. I don't know. And yeah, that's pretty much the build already. That was a pretty quick build, but of course you can see these water edges. They're still looking a bit barren. Here I tried out this one. I ended up not going for this one because it was a bit too decorated at the corners. I think even in an industrial area, maybe some of those decorations wouldn't have been that bad. So I'll probably consider using them maybe somewhere else where they make sense. I don't know yet. So I'm first planting some corners down. And yeah, it's pretty basic process. It's just plopping down some stuff here. I noticed how the underground streets were dripping me out, so that's where I deleted those and cut out some of that footage, because it's not really interesting to see me go around with a bulldozing tool, in my opinion. Yeah, I might mix and match some of these waterfront kind of stuffs, because the new ports add-ons that I downloaded also come with some of those. So I'll try some of them out, maybe in video, maybe out of video. I'll figure that out. I think I want to do maybe one of each, but there's also some rural ports that don't really make sense in this city because it's not really a farming city. So I'll probably skip those and then try. There's like a city center port, there's like a bunch of cargo ports, there's even an oil port, which might be interesting to, because I also found I found a mod where you had like a modular oil storage or something like that. It was, yeah, okay, there's so many mods. I mean, if you want, you can download any kind of mods, and if you can't download it, it's not super easy, but it's quite accessible to make your own, I think. As long as you know how to make 3D models and know how to manage the mod, then I think it's not too difficult, but it does require some time. And yeah, I'd rather spend my time showing off the mods that already exist than making mods that I might only use once, I guess. I don't know, maybe that's selfish, but I think it's also helpful to the modders to show off some of their great work. So, I don't know, I think it's fine. Here I'm doing some water. And I thought maybe I was low on water, but I wasn't. So I decided to fix that pipe over there because it had gaps. Here I didn't really like the dirty industry because I kind of want to prevent this whole area from being super polluted. But the dirty industry is gonna be building anyways. I don't know how to prevent that. Well, I could have just removed those lots. By the way, this is the Industrial Revolution mod, and I'm using the Industrial Wall-to-Wall add-on pack. And I'm also using a Maxis blocker to prevent other industries from growing here. There's still some that are still growing that aren't really wall-to-wall, so I guess that they might be part of the wall-to-wall pack. I don't know. Maybe the blocker isn't complete. Maybe it's missing a couple of files. I don't know. But yeah, I'm using those in combination to prevent like the because normally, like when a building grows, there's gonna be like attachments, the outbuildings and the mech buildings. They're called out and mech, but that's just a game name. I guess you'd call them, yeah, like the expansions. They are the industrial buildings that can attach to an anchor building without needing road access. So yeah, in order to block those, I added like a Maxis blocker for industries, and yeah, the goal was to get like a big row of warehouses there, and that didn't really grow, but that might just be because my industrial demand isn't big enough, especially the manufacturing demand is pretty low. So maybe it will fix itself when I add a lot more residences. We'll have to see that in the next episode. I'm hoping to add like 10k residences next episode, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to build fast enough in order to fit that into a video. I don't know. So here I slowed down the footage a bit. Well, slowed down. This is normal speed. So I'm looking at the Census Bureau stuff. At first I looked at the base tax rates, and here I'm looking at the amount of jobs that I have versus the amount of workforce. They're pretty much in balance, but I could use a bit more workforce, so that's why these industries aren't really developing any further. So this area is where I'll be starting the residential expansion. I might also go to the left a bit more. We'll have to see that in the next episode. So here I tried to block the dirty industry by just taxing them to smithereens, but they are pretty okay, even with 30% tax rate. But yeah, as long as they're okay with it. Oh yeah, this is the new mod that I also installed. I'm just gonna be making money off those dirty industries if they're okay with it. So yeah, this is a mod that changes the garbage overview into a park rating overview. So that lets you, yeah, it lets you manage your parks a bit more if you're trying to skimp down on how much park stuff you build. Of course, it was pretty insane in this city because of all the park assets that I used to decorate the city. But yeah, that's Corey's Park View mod, for those of you who want to know. I can also provide a link, but I'm not gonna preempt the link. If you want to see the link, then just ask me. Yeah, I'll just be providing the link whenever I see a comment asking for it. I think it's easy enough to Google it. So here is some views. I changed the water texture, as you might be able to see, and this is already with the new cliff settings. So there's some more cliffs around the town at this point. I think it looks pretty cool with the cliffs. And yeah, here I'm just slowly panning over the city, and a bit of a transition, yeah, because when you're panning like this, at some point it doesn't keep up with your panning, and then some models are missing.